Spencer, that was your first defeat here since New Year's Day. What have you got to say about it?
We just didn't play well. I thought the first half we were the better side. We've missed a fabulous opportunity. They haven't really hurt us at all. Second half we just didn't turn up as an offensive force. I don't think we've made their keeper do anything. And once they scored, we just performed poorly on the day. Too many players didn't perform to the standards they have. It's going to happen at some point. I'm very disappointed. I've let them know, very disappointed. There will be changes on Wednesday. We need to be better. It's important we don't let the season just drip out. We're not there yet. We've got to go to the FA rear points deduction, and we've got to be better than that. And the second half is where I'm really disappointed. It wasn't good enough.
Why do you think the performance went downhill in the second half?
It was just one of those days. Too many players underperformed. It's simple. They worked hard, but then they stopped doing what we tell them to do as far as the game plan. And when Weston scored, we just ran out of ideas. But it was poor quality around the park as a whole offensive force. I think the only chance we really had was from a set piece that fizzed just wide. But no excuses. We just didn't perform well on the day, and we've got to get out of this. It's a very mini rut. Hopefully, we've got a very tough game at home to Dover on Wednesday, and we need to pick ourselves up because it wasn't good enough in the second half today, and we let them bully us when they scored, and all the time wasting etc. was going on, and it was winding us up, and it worked very well for them because we just showed a lot of naivety, making silly fouls all over the park, and instead of getting on with our job and believing that we could go and get the equaliser. But I'm very disappointed.
I mean, they seemed to just turn up and just park themselves and looking for a draw. They didn't seem to be going out to particularly to get a win.
No, and in the first half we really should have come in up. I didn't think we were particularly great in the first half, but we've missed a couple of great opportunities. I think we've had 4 or 5 attempts on goal. I felt that we still had more to give in the second half, but it just didn't happen. I don't know what it is about Weston-super-Mare, but in both times we've played them, we've really not got going. It's not a disaster. I've said we don't get carried away when we win, and we've won a lot of games since November, and we shouldn't get carried away when we lose. It was a bad day for us. It's probably one of the worst performances we've had since I've been here. It's not due to a lack of effort, it's naivety. We don't have an awful lot of options. We certainly don't have the financial clout to go and get a lot of new players, but we'll need to be better, otherwise the season can drip out, and as I said, we're not safe yet.
And finally, the 5-point deduction. You got the appeal, you say, with the FA. How confident are you of having that removed?
I'm hopeful. Appeals are notoriously difficult. It was before our time, so we're hopeful that we feel the punishment doesn't fit the offence. But we'll put our case to the FA, and we'll let them decide what the situation is. But certainly, if we lose that appeal, and we may well do, then we know we've still got a lot of work to do, and it's important that we carry on the good work that we've done on the pitch since November, and that the season just doesn't drip out.
For the game against Weston-super-Mare, you signed on loan Lee Weems. Is he likely to get a roll-out from the get-go on Wednesday?
No, he's not match fit, not to play 90 minutes or 80 minutes, so I'd say that's highly unlikely. Lee hasn't played a competitive game properly since January, so he's not really in consideration to start a game. He's a young man that I had before very briefly on work experience. We desperately need another forward at the club. We're asking an awful lot of this very small squad, and it's starting to catch up with us. This relegation battle that we've been fighting since November, you can see that mentally and physically it's catching up with us, and it's important that we finish the job as soon as possible. Try and get reinforcements, but they're very difficult to get at this stage of the season, and make sure that we finish the season on a high rather than just letting it drift out. We're very realistic what we have here at Farnborough. We don't have a big squad. We certainly don't have any money to be going out and strengthening it to a great degree, but we've got a lot of work to do, and it's important that we try and bounce back straight away against a very good side in Dover.
The financial constraints that you have got, do you find that quite frustrating?
It's incredibly frustrating. We've got the smallest budget in the Conference South, I'd imagine, by some considerable distance, and all credit to the players for getting us into the position which I think most people believed we were certainties for relegation in November. We won 6 on the bounce before we went to Dover the previous week, before we went to Dartford the previous week. So we've got to believe in ourselves. It was always going to be very difficult. As I said, we didn't get carried away when we won. and we're not going to get carried away when we get beat. But we've got to stick together, and fingers crossed we'll come through.
Thanks, man, for big time.